Cute, colorful, compact, the Nintendo Switch is often seen as one of the most accessible gaming consoles out there. This reputation is further bolstered by some of its best-selling titles such as Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, or Animal Crossing. Fun, easy to learn, and lighthearted games perfect for gamers of all ages. But what if you crave challenge and suffering today instead of another cozy session? Perhaps you're enviously eyeing gamers from other platforms pushing through strenuous and difficult titles like Dark Souls, thinking, man, I wish I could be shouting at my screen and throwing Joy-Cons in pure anguish and frustration. Looks like so much fun. Well, fortunately you can. Below, we give you a list of some of the best Souls-like games on Switch, which will test your patience, perseverance, and ability to withhold shouting and swearing in public. Are you ready to suffer on the go? If so, jump in and prepare to embrace the challenge like never before. As if to reinforce the idea that cute anthropomorphic creatures are a staple of the genre, we have Tales of Iron, a hauntingly beautiful hand-drawn Metroidvania about a peaceful kingdom of rats under siege by the ruthless Frog Clan. And while that might sound like a charming fable straight out of Hans Christian Andersen, let us assure you it is anything but. Instead, what unfolds is a grim, brutal tale of Reggie, a young rat prince forced to rise to the challenge, face the amphibian invaders, and rebuild his shattered homeland. Still not sold on the idea of playing as a battle-hardened rat noble? Well, let us give you 2 extra tidbits that might convince you. First, anyone with a keen ear will quickly recognize the deep, gravelly voice of the game's narrator, none other than Doug Cockle, the man behind our favorite Geralt of Rivia himself. And if that's not enough, Tales of Iron recently received a sequel, taking the adventure to the frozen north, where yet another war threatens a different rat kingdom. Every dedicated fan of action RPGs in the Souls genre has likely encountered the following scenario, which newcomers seeking Souls-like games on Switch should be aware of. After enduring a grueling trek fraught with bloodthirsty monsters, you finally confront the boss. The battle commences and you are immediately flattened like a pancake, forcing you to respawn at the last checkpoint and painstakingly repeat the entire journey, growing increasingly frustrated with each failed attempt. Not exactly a thrilling experience, right? Well, Fallen Flag Studios, the creators of Eldest Souls, have devised a bold solution to this dilemma, removing all the mobs and pitting you against only the bosses, preposterous and boring. Well, Shadow of the Colossus managed to pull that trick off, and Eldest Souls demonstrates that so-called boss rush games have earned their place in the gaming market. The title thrusts players into the role of a solitary warrior wielding an immense sword, embarking on a quest to vanquish 10 old gods threatening the world. Each towering titan presents a daunting challenge, transforming every encounter into a mesmerizing ballet of blades, with every dodge a desperate bid for survival. And when after countless retries the boss finally falls, it's on to the next formidable foe. But fear not, exploration enthusiasts, for the world, though devoid of enemies, is brimming with hidden secrets and additional quests, allowing our protagonist to grow stronger between battles. All of this is presented in breathtaking pixel art graphics, ensuring that your journey through Eldest Souls may be slightly short and brutally difficult, but it will be hard to forget. The world of Remnant lies in ruin, nearly destroyed by the Root, a malevolent interdimensional force that has pushed humanity to the brink of extinction. Sound familiar? Well, the game doesn't shy away from its Dark Souls inspirations, but offers a unique twist that separates it from other popular Souls-like games. The focus on gunplay and ranged combat. Throughout the campaign, players traverse diverse worlds, battling waves of root-spawned beasts with an arsenal of pistols, carbines, shotguns, and more. The combat is dynamic and intense, often leaving players in tight spots against large mobs or formidable bosses. Thankfully, online multiplayer allows friends to join in and provide assistance when needed. In the vast landscape of books, movies, and video games, the eternal conflict between light and darkness stands as one of the most enduring tropes, and nowhere on our list is this conflict more vividly depicted than in Ashen, an action RPG from the relatively small studio A44. In this title, the world teeters on the brink of either basking in the warm embrace of life-giving light or descending into an age of darkness and despair, a fate that may hinge on our every action. Talk about no pressure, right? If you're seeking a handheld experience experience reminiscent of Dark Souls, Ashen is one of the closest to capturing the essence of From Software's renowned trilogy. Ashen's combat system is unforgiving and centers around skillful dodging and careful management of stamina. Additionally, the game emphasizes exploration and discovery, encouraging players to uncover hidden secrets scattered throughout the world. While the game introduces its own unique, simplistic art style, melancholic atmosphere, and passive multiplayer mechanics, it undoubtedly pays homage to the challenging and immersive experience pioneered by DIA. Some insects build sprawling underground cities that rival those made by humans in size. If you've ever wondered what such a city might look like, let Team Cherry guide you through the hauntingly beautiful world of Hollow Knight, a breathtaking blend of Metroidvanias and Souls-like games on Nintendo Switch. Initially, Hollow Knight may appear to be a serene map exploration game, boasting stunning hand-drawn 2D graphics, a melancholic atmosphere, and charming characters, including the protagonist. However, beneath this tranquil surface lies a perilous and challenging journey. Prepare yourself for intense fights and intricate platforming sections. Overall, Hollow Knight is a must-have for fans of challenging games and one of the most popular Nintendo Switch games. For animal lovers who are interested in Nintendo Switch games like Dark Souls, the subgenre offers a diverse array of tiny and adorable animal protagonists. We've already encountered a crow and a bug, and now we venture into the vibrant and enchanting isometric realm of Tunic, where our protagonist is a charming anthropomorphic fox wearing the eponymous piece of clothing. Tunic may initially seem like a relaxing platformer, but it swiftly shows its claws once we acquire a sword and shield. The game's difficulty takes a sharp upward turn, presenting formidable challenges, particularly in encounters with daunting bosses. Adding to the allure that Souls-likes are renowned for, Tunic introduces a unique feature, a mystical rune language used for all the lore notes scattered throughout the world. If you're a fan of Dark Souls, but also a language learning enthusiast who doesn't mind keeping a notepad and pencil handy while you play, Tunic is an adventure you won't want to miss. A controversial question: how would you punish an arsonist? How about a smuggler or a forger? Well, one of the best Souls-like games on Switch, Salt and Sacrifice, offers a more creative approach to justice. Picture this: rather than conventional punishments for criminals, why not send them on an almost suicidal quest to hunt down powerful, grotesque mages? Embracing the legacy of its predecessor, Salt and Sacrifice stands as a faithful rendition of the Dark Souls formula, albeit in a two-dimensional realm. With a robust character creator, an array of weapons and spells to master, and a dangerous world teeming with monsters and formidable bosses, the game offers an immersive and challenging experience. Don't worry though if the dangers become too great. It features cooperative multiplayer functionality, allowing players to join forces with friends either online or locally. Whether you prefer to brave the challenges alone or with a companion, this title promises a compelling addition to your Switch library of Souls-like titles. Blasphemous 2 stands as a hauntingly beautiful and relentlessly challenging game that should not be overlooked by anyone seeking a captivating mix of Metroidvanias and games like Dark Souls on Switch. Continuing the legacy of its 2019 predecessor, the game casts us yet again in the role of the penitent one, an ever-silent yet murderously deadly pilgrim adorned with a tall, twisted helmet, slightly reminiscent of the hats worn by gnomes in your grandparents' garden. The land of Custodia, which we thought we left slightly safe, is filled with bloodthirsty, grotesque monsters again. In the eyes of the protagonist, there is only one answer to the violence they unleash, and that is even more violent. We've already touched on tropes in this article, and Blasphemous 2 follows one as well. The notion that a sequel must be bigger, faster, and better, with a higher body count and more elaborate deaths. And boy, does the sequel deliver. This time, the penitent one wields not one but three distinct weapons, each tied to the unique offensive as well as movement skills. No respectable list of the best Souls-like games on Switch could be complete without at least one title that caters to fans of anime. Fortunately, we have you covered with Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Knights. Quite a mouthful of a title boasting stunning 2D graphics and gothic-inspired dark environments populated by characters drawing clear inspiration from Japanese culture. The game takes us into the magical Land's End, previously a rich and beautiful kingdom ruined by corrupted rainfall that turned all of its inhabitants into grotesque undead monstrosities. This is where we, as players, step in, taking control of the titular Lily, a young priestess who wakes up amidst the destruction. The immediate difference players will notice is in Lily herself. Small and unimposing, she is virtually defenseless against the creatures dwelling in the world around her. Paraphrasing the Invincible series, you might ask, how do I beat up monsters then? That's the neat part, you don't. At least not directly as Lily. Fortunately, the tiny priestess possesses the power to collect the spirits of vanquished enemies and then use them as weapons or companions. Many Souls-like games on Switch often opt for beautiful yet minimalistic 2D graphics, but Mortal Shell breaks this trend. It immerses players in a grim 3D world where they assume the role of the unnamed protagonist known as the Foundling. As is tradition within the DS genre, our hero awakens with no knowledge of his life or surroundings and promptly has his face dented by the first formidable boss. Drawing clear inspiration from Software's trilogy, Mortal Shell nevertheless introduces several intriguing twists to keep gameplay engaging. For example, the titular shell's alternate forms the Foundling can inhabit, each imbuing him with unique abilities learned from the fallen wars. Additionally, the game introduces a novel mechanic known as hardening. It allows players to momentarily encase their character in a stone-like coating mid-combat, effectively nullifying incoming damage. Speaking of gritting one's teeth, here comes La-Mulana 2, a game that looks innocent and lighthearted at first glance, but within minutes is bound to give you some serious dental issues. Imagine a female Indiana Jones complete with an iconic whip, dashing and jumping her way through a vast underground labyrinth of Metroidvania-style temples, corridors, and hidden pathways. Naturally, every inch of this place is packed with deadly monsters and even deadlier traps, all waiting to send you to the afterlife the moment you let your guard down. At first, La-Mulana 2 may not look like a typical Souls-like on Switch, especially since its brutal difficulty stems more from its treacherous exploration and mind-bending puzzles than its combat. However, the relentless challenge of navigating an ancient, danger-infested world coupled with monsters lurking in the shadows offers the same kind of masochistic satisfaction that fans of the genre crave. Did you know that crows are among the most intelligent birds on Earth, with their brain-to-body ratio just slightly lower than that of humans? You see, GG deals entertains and teaches. In Death's Door, you'll get to play not just smart, but also adorable crows that wield Sith-like lightsabers and magic bows to slaughter their enemies and reap their soul. This indie gem created by Acid Nerve is a curious example of a title that simultaneously breaks the Dark Souls formula in some aspects while adhering to it in others. For starters, uncommonly for the Souls-like genre, the game introduces lots of absurd humor, delivered by the plot, setting, and characters. After all, we play as a crow whose job it is to collect souls for the Reaping Commission headquarters. On the other hand, akin to Software's games, the narrative occasionally strikes somber chords, delving into themes of life and death and the consequences that may arise from tampering with these fundamentals. The gameplay mechanics offer a demanding combat system that relies on quick reflexes while completely eschewing the concept of stamina. With that being said, dodging is limitless, and hitting your enemies with melee weapons recharges your range attack.